Hey everybody. So, this week I've pulled a card for you and an oracle, tarot and oracle. So you have number 18, the moon, today. In this particular card, you're holding up a mirror, looking at a hand holding up a moon. So the moon for me, it can mean a lot of things. Traditionally, in the tarot, the moon card can talk about doubts and fears and dreams and different things, but I don't see it as a bad card. The moon card for me is about intuition. When I see a full moon in the cards, that is a symbolism of trusting your intuition fully. If I see a partial moon, crescent moon, it makes me think that maybe there's somebody self-doubting, that maybe they're not trusting their full intuition, or they don't believe it's true, what they're sensing. But this is also looking into a mirror here. So it's about reflection. And for some of you, in order to grow and to evolve in your spiritual journey, there's some shadow work and things that need to be done. And we say shadow work, but this is just about working on yourself, going within. And you're going to have to self-reflect on things that you need to work on, and ask yourself sometimes when you get upset with certain people or things that happen in your life, why am I upset? What is it that is triggering to you that people do and say to you, or that, certain situations upset you? You have to find out for yourself why that is. And this card is asking you to look at yourself in the mirror. Not necessarily physically, but you can. But it's asking you to reflect on yourself. And that sometimes is the hardest thing for us to do, is to look at ourselves with a critical eye. Nobody wants to be harsh on ourselves. But in order to love ourselves, we have to love all parts of ourselves. And that includes the parts that maybe aren't the best. We all have strengths and weaknesses. So let us look, our pros and cons. Where could we use a little bit of work? And how can we strengthen ourselves? So this card is asking you to do the work. It's asking you to see where you could use improvement, where you could do the work, and really study parts of yourself internally. And this may be dealing with childhood trauma. This could be dealing with relationship trauma. This could be dealing with just inner workings. Maybe you need to work with your ego, or maybe, like I said, shadow work, which includes most of that. This might be you just working on your confidence. What is it that you feel like you need to work on? And, people passing by in your life may have said, hey, you really need, to work on this. Or maybe someone's mentioned something like, why do you get so angry? Do you need to work on, your anger management? Do you need to work on being a stronger leader? The choice is yours. It's up to you. Everybody's going to be different here. So whatever you need to work on, that's going to be what you need to reflect on and go from there. There's plenty of things you can get a reading. If you know how to use tarot cards, you can do a reading for yourself, and that can be very, very insightful for just opening up those doors and learning how you can improve on yourself, like what you can do to be better or do better. What can you study? What kind of work would be helpful to helping you evolve more? It's always good to remain your authentic self, but it's always good to evolve too. We can grow while still remaining the same. And the reason I mentioned this is because your oracle card was, this is bullshit. And here's this person, and I don't know, this creature is like an elf alien thing, but he's trying to meditate. He's like an elf fairy thing with extra arms, and he's trying to meditate, but he's got one eye open. So he's struggling. And so what that tells me is this is bullshit. This is you resisting. In order to flow, if things are feeling blocked in your life and they're not moving forward, you are creating your own beaver dam. That's the way I can put it. And you want to unblock it. You are the blockage. You have to unblock it. No one can do that for you. So resisting, as in Star Trek, resistance is futile. Don't do it. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Trust your intuition and know that things are going to untangle and work out. Just give yourself that love and that patience and that space, to reflect on yourself. Sit with yourself for a while. If you need to, and if you don't want to do it for yourself, like, it's okay to reach out to a therapist or a counselor. Some people do self-help books, like, however you want to do it. It just depends on what your issue is. Figure out what it is, and then figure out how to get that help for yourself. But just know that, it's not the easiest thing to do, and it's going to be a struggle, but you'll get there, and it will be okay. So, I hope, for everyone's sake, that you get to where you need to be. But I wish you all good luck.